We used to have a picture up that showed a girl that had been scalped by a drill press. It was pretty gruesome. She was working a little too close to the drill press, and a little bit of her hair wafted into the drill, and then it sucked in some more, and then wham! And completely tore out a whole section of her hair and her head. Needless to say, there are some safety precautions that should be considered when using the drill press. The first safety precaution obviously is eye protection, but since I told the story, the second safety precaution would be hair pulled back and no loose clothing. Once you are prepared, now we need to prepare the machine. The speed on a drill press isn't terribly important when you're drilling into wood. Usually you want it fairly fast. It's important when you get into metals or other materials. Hopefully you have a chart that shows the feeds and speeds that's important when you're drilling. Once the speed is set, now we need to load a bit into the chuck. If your chuck has a chuck key tool, then you should spin the chuck by hand until it gets close to the right size, and then finish by tightening the chuck with the key. It is recommended that you tighten each hole individually, but for small bits into wood, it's usually not a big deal. It is possible to get the bit offset in the jaws if the chuck was open really wide previously. To center the bit easier when installing it, make the jaws too small for the bit, and then as you open the jaws up, as soon as the bit slides in, it will be centered correctly. Also, make sure when you clamp the chuck on the bit that you do not clamp on the flutes with a twist drill. The flutes are there to get the wood shavings back out of the hole, and if one of the jaws gets set on the flute opening, then it won't be centered and it won't be as tight. Finally, after tightening it all back up, make sure to remove the chuck key. This little thing turns deadly when you forget it in the drill and then turn it on. It'll fly out of there like a rock out of a sling and you'll go down like Goliath. Some chuck keys have a spring-loaded pin on them, so they automatically shove themselves back out of the hole when you are not holding it in. Another type of chuck has a knurled grip in two places that allows you to tighten the chuck by hand. Although usually faster than the keyed style, it makes it difficult to undo sometimes when the person before you has really reefed on it. Don't grab the smooth part or you'll find yourself taking apart the actual chuck, and those are a bear to put back together again correctly. Make sure you hold on the top knurling and loosen or tighten the bottom knurling. Make sure you hold the bit with part of your hand as you undo it with this type of chuck. Otherwise, when you loosen it, the bit will fall through and damage the tip. Once the bit is set correctly, it's time to set the table and feed height. The table should be set at a comfortable working height where the feed stroke can reach the workpiece easily. Less stroke means more control and better accuracy. On older machines that do not have a geared column adjustment, make sure you support the table when loosening it so it doesn't drop and break. Adjust the table left and right until the bit is centered to go through the hole in the middle of the table. Some machines will also have a laser and a light to help with aligning your work.